Hey Malifaux fans, this is Crazy Carl from the Weird Forums back with another Malifaux video battle report. Sorry it's been a while since I've had a report come up. It's been a long, crazy holiday season, and we've had a couple of players move out of town, we've had a couple players on break, a couple players been busy, so it's been tough to get a game in. I started playing Netrunner, Android Netrunner recently, which has been a lot of fun, but I've been itching to get some Malifaux games in. I was able to get Leviticus put together after the holidays, along with a mechanical rider. So I'm really looking forward to getting all those guys on the table. But in the meantime, we're getting in games where we can. So I played a game against Pat, a.k.a. Haggis McMutton, on the Weird Forums. We decided to play a 30 Soulstone scrap, but I think he thought we were playing a 25 Soulstone scrap because of the way his crew turned out. He brought the Vix and a pair of Ronin, as you can see here, and then a Convict Gunslinger, which was hidden up on the tower, and then Misaki, which comes out to 22 Soulstones. And then he had a 3 Soulstone cache, and then that was it. So I didn't think about this while we were playing because I hadn't played Malifaux in so long. It just really didn't occur to me. So I brought along Feng with the Emberling, Rail Golem, Rail Worker, Kang, and a Fire Gammon. Pat had Deliver a Message and Holdout, and then eschewed his second scheme, so he had 5 Soulstones total. I had Line in the Sand, Eye for an Eye, and then hid Holdout. So we both had hidden Holdout. So that was an interesting thing that was happening there. And I split my crew up a little bit, and again, as I said, I didn't realize that he was playing with so few models. I almost certain that we said we were going to play 30 stones, and I guess he just thought 25. I don't know. Maybe he's just trying to challenge himself by giving me a 5 Soulstone handicap, so I guess that could be the case. I don't know. But the game was still pretty interesting. It was very, very, very bloody, so as you'll see as things go up. So turn 1, I had the Rail Golem moved up, and then the Rail Worker tossed a Burning Counter onto him. And then I moved up the rest of my crew just to kind of spread them out. I tried to leave a little. I tried to make sure that I had 5 inches between the Rail Worker and the Fire Gammon, but then I moved up the Fire Gammon not far enough, so that was a little bit awkward. And that meant Feng really didn't have anywhere to bounce to, so I think I just ended up walking her up twice. Or I was thinking about it, but then I decided to put her in front or behind the Rail Golem, just so I hadn't threatened the dynamite counters. Pat moved up Misaki and hit her behind the rails there, so that I couldn't see her with the height 2 guys, but the Rail Golem was going to be able to see her just fine no matter what, so it didn't really matter. Then the Vix just kind of spread out. He actually moved the Vix a little bit too far apart, as you might have seen in the last photo. It meant that he wasn't going to be able to companion them on turn 2, which ended up being a big deal. The Ronin just kind of moved up, and the Convict Gunslinger moved up to take position on top of the tower, which worked out really, really well for him because where he was, the Gunslinger was able to cover at least 2 of the dynamite markers, and there wasn't really any cover to speak of between the tower and the dynamite, so he was in a really good spot to just kind of deny me those counters. The Rail Worker, which looks kind of awkward because the gaps in his skin are supposed to be metallic, and I forgot about that, so I need to go back and retouch that guy up. And I still have the other 2 Rail Workers to get painted, but I'll get around them at some point. He went off on his own to take care of a dynamite marker after giving the Rail Golem another burning counter. Unfortunately for me, that did not work. Ended up not working out very well for me, but as you'll see, I'll get to that in a moment. Kang moved up along with the Emberling to keep him safe with Vent Steam, which I've been really liking that combo a lot. You can Vent Steam with the Emberling and then move him in front of Kang when you move him up. The Fire Gammon charged the Ronin, which had done 2 wounds after Spirit and Armor or Ignoring Armor, to the Emberling, which ended up being a pretty poor move because the other Ronin charged my Fire Gammon and did 3 damage to it. So 1 more damage to the Fire Gammon would wipe out my Emberling as well. And the Convict Gunslinger ended up just sitting on top of the table. So for most of the game, the Convict Gunslinger just spent his time sitting on that tower. So Pat was actually at a 10 Soulstone handicap as opposed to just a 5. Here you can see the dynamite counter that my Rail Worker was able to go over and activate without much trouble. This is off on the side of the board, and there wasn't really much over there to threaten him. Pat was a lot more worried about dealing with my Rail Golem and with Kang, my 2 very big heavy hitters. Feng moved up, and I had to be careful with her to make sure that I didn't get her stuck in for Deliver a Message. I'm really bad at that. I'm awful at remembering my opponent having Deliver a Message. Even in shared Deliver the Message, I just always forget about it. And I always just kind of hand my opponent the points. That's one of the things I need to improve on as a player, is just remembering my opponent's strategies. The Rail Golem ended up being a pretty good wall between turns. On turn 2, Pat actually charged up with one of the Vix and hit a red Joker, which knocked me down to 1 wound, which was pretty unfortunate. I fortunately had reactivated the Rail Golem, so I was able to cool down back up to about 5 or 6 wounds, which was nice. Unfortunately, Pat won initiative the turn after that. Or no, I think he actually lost initiative, but I couldn't save the Rail Golem and Mei Feng, so I had to move Mei Feng around to keep her from getting the message delivered to her. And the Vix cast the Sisters in Battle Fury and did a bunch of damage and killed off the Rail Golem. Unfortunately, that left Pat with his Vix on very few wounds, killed off Misaki, and then that was it. And then I guess he had the Comet Gunslinger just sitting off on the side. And this actually burned through a lot of his Soulstones because it's some prevention flips as well, so not good times for Pat. He split up his Vix and then tried to surround Mei Feng. Mei Feng, on the other hand, was able to pick off both Ronins, but she did leave herself open to being killed by the Vix, but not to having the message delivered until turn 4, where I actually did leave myself in the position where I could get the message delivered to me. Fortunately for me, I won initiative. I was able to kill off the Gun Vic, and then I was able to charge over and on turn 5 kill off the Sword Vic with some spells and some damage. So in the meantime, I was able to activate 2 of the dynamite markers, getting myself up to 3 dynamites and keeping him from delivering the message. Pat realized that he could try and deny me eye for an eye, so he, with the only model he had left being the the Convict Gunslinger, he walked off the tower and did some falling damage and then was walking back up to kind of just do like a weird ring around the rosy type of killing. I don't know. It was weird. It was really funny. We realized that the Convict Gunslinger walking up and down this tower to kill himself was actually a legitimate strategy until I remembered that I could just drain souls my crew and it wouldn't really matter once I'd had my dynamite counters. So it was hilarious until we realized it didn't matter. My Rail Worker and Mei Feng moved over just to kind of see if they could get over to the other side of the board to activate more dynamite counters, but there wasn't really enough time left, so I ended up finishing the game with 3 of the counters activated, getting 2 points for my line in the sand. I got 2 points for eye for an eye because we were within 1 model, and then 1 point for holdout, and Pat only got his 1 point for his hidden holdout. So it ended up being 5-1. It was a fun game, not as close as I would have liked it to be, but that's because Pat was playing with a gigantic disadvantage. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.